just made the list.
The doctor will see you now.
I'm better than you, and you know it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Around the Ring, episode 282. I am your co-host, Justin Hensley, and joined, as always, is my co-host, Steve Long. Steve, how's it going?
It's going well. How have you been doing?
Not too bad. It's been, kind of busy with school and all that.
Yeah.
The usual. Nothing.
That's gotta be good doing the school thing.
Yeah, shooting some cable access to TV show talk shows.
There you go. Yeah. So we've got kind of a crazy show for you tonight. Just kind of random.
Yeah, it really is.
Because it was kind of a really slow week for wrestling. So terribly slow. So and I mean, between the two of us, I only watched AEW Dynamite and Rampage. I didn't even get around to watching Impact. And I think you said you just watched Dynamite.
Yeah, I only watched Dynamite. It's disappointing because the New Japan Cup happened, the entire thing happened, and I didn't watch a single match out of the whole thing.
I didn't watch any of it either.
I'm very disappointed in myself. It's just a lot going on.
Yeah, I'm not terribly familiar with the New Japan Cup, so I can't be disappointed in myself because I don't even know what it is.
I mean, it's just a tournament.
Yeah, another tournament.
It's a good. They had a lot of good matches on it. I just, haven't had a chance to watch it, but unfortunately.
So we are going to cover a little AEW, but most of this episode we're going to be talking about what is going on outside of WWE during WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, there's this really cool phenomena that has happened over the last. I don't know when this started. It's probably started a long time ago, but I feel like it became a thing that was a big deal maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, where all these other companies would go to the same city as WrestleMania and, put on their own shows. So that would be your Ring of Honors, your Impacts, who else used to do it? Evolve used to do it, Dragon Gate USA. There used to be a bunch of different.
So we've got some cool shows coming up over the weekend, and we're going to talk about a few of those.
Yeah.
But before we jump into that, what's been going on with you this week besides school? Have you you've got a new episode of Punk Lotto Pod out?
Yes, our most recent episode is actually the one that you were the guest on. You joined us.
I thought there was one after that.
It's been recorded. It hasn't been posted yet.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's we were talking about that.
Yeah, we talked with you about the Smoking Pope's first album, Get Fired. So that was really fun.
First full-length album.
Yeah. What did I say?
Well, you just said album, but I guess some people think EPs are also considered albums, which I am one of. I actually do consider them albums. I just don't consider them full-length albums, obviously.
Right. But, yeah. I mean, I call everything a record or an album. So yeah.
But that was actually their fourth release.
Yeah,
because they had some EPs before that. But that was a fun show.
Yeah, it was really fun. Stuff. And this coming week, we actually have a really fun two-parter, sort of. We talked with Dave Brown, former host of this show and host of One Band 5 Songs. And we talked about the Pretty in Pink soundtrack as well as the movie. So we did close to 4 hours of recording.
Wow.
Which will be split across the Patreon and the main show. So
nice.
We'll check that out on the Punk Lotto Pod.
If you are not already a patron of Punk Lotto Pod, go check that out. Good stuff on there. I really enjoy the new release Friday.
Oh, yeah. Those are really fun to do. I like those a lot.
Yeah. I always catch something I had been meaning to check, or sometimes something I've never heard of, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll check that out.
What's been going on with Rogue One?
Well, we are kind of in the middle of our Batman series. which it's not going to be a very long series. It's just a series of shows. We started off with a review show of the Batman. And then last week we did, it was called Rogues Gallery. It's basically, we just talked about a bunch of our favorite villains from Batman. And then tomorrow night, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite characters from his supporting cast. And I think that might be our last in the series, because I think we've got some other stuff coming up. We're coming up on some other pop culture type stuff coming out that we are going to want to talk about. But yeah, so it's been kind of Batman centric for a little bit.
Speaking of Batman, how many times have you seen the new Batman?
I've seen it 4, and I will probably go see it again.
Is that good?
I really like it. If you would like to read my review of it out there, folks, there is a website out there called thefutureoftheforce.com. And I often write for that. I do writing for that and various other websites, either pop culture or music. But that one is one of the main ones I write for. And I wrote a review. Just got published today, actually. So if you want to check that out.
Yeah, that's cool.
So Dave just released another episode of One Band, Five Songs. He did an interesting one. It wasn't really a band he was featuring. He did an album from the 90s called No Alternative.
Yeah, a compilation of a bunch of well-known 90s artists.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah, that was a really fun one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, last week he did Super Chunk. That was a cool episode.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite bands of all time. So I was very happy with that.
Yeah. I think we've met since he did the last one. I think Super Chunk was done right after we met last time.
Maybe
it may have been the same day. It may have been the same day. No. He I was looking at the dates. He actually published that one. Yeah, he published on the same day that we recorded. So we may not have listened to it yet.
We didn't record last week, so
we didn't.
No.
Oh,
because I had to get a haircut and clothes to be on TV.
Oh, that's right. I thought okay. Because I know we had a time where we didn't record for like 3 weeks, but then I thought we were pretty regular after that.
Yeah.
Nope. I guess not. Okay.
Inconsistent as always.
Yeah. Well, we've almost got to the point where the way the weeks have been going, it's almost to the point now where we should probably only talk about like when something exciting is happening. I don't know. No. Usually there's at least 1 or 2 matches to talk about for AEW, and but anyway, do we have any headlines to discuss?
I have no idea. I haven't even looked. Have you?
Yeah, I didn't see anything that jumped up off the page to me. There was an announcement for the WWE Hall of Fame at the Steiner Brothers.
Yeah, the Steiner Brothers.
Yeah, that's really the only thing I noticed.
Kairi, the former Kairi Sane, now just Kairi, made her return to wrestling at Stardom and ruptured her eardrum. So,
oh geez.
First match back, and she's already injured.
Yeah,
maybe it's a work, but hopefully.
I read somewhere, I don't have any news on it. Just I read that Tony Khan is going to be announcing a new addition to the women's roster.
Really? I hadn't seen that story.
I probably saw it on Twitter.
Any suspicions on who it is?
I don't know if I'd call it a suspicion, but maybe a hopeful. I'd really like to see it be Ember Moon.
Yeah. Ember
Or
Moon,
whatever she's calling
Athena.
herself. Not Athena, yeah.
Yeah. I hope it's her.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, AEW, like, severely needs to up their game in the women's division.
Yeah, it's been the Britt Baker show basically since AEW started. And
Well,
Thunder
the Britt
Rosa's
Baker
had her.
show and the Jade Cargill show.
Yeah.
And neither one of them are particularly outstanding talents in the ring.
I think they're stronger characters. I think Britt's really good in the ring. But it also kind of depends on who she's with too.
Yeah, she's good, but she's not, dare I mention, from another promotion, like Becky Lynch caliber.
Yeah, there's that is the one thing that the WWE does kind of have over AEW, I think.
They've got
their women's division is just stacked with talent.
Yeah, it's got some really good talent, but
the storylines, on the other hand, are not good.
Yeah, The storylines are horrible. Talent's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I think AEW's biggest need for improvement is. They really need to get better talent. They've been stacking the roster, but they have not been stacking it with people you necessarily want to see.
Yeah, they did this. They do this weird thing where they sign people who are like, they're good wrestlers, but they're not like amazing wrestlers. Yeah. And
so here's what I think is going to happen with a lot of the women that they've signed. I think they're going to get moved over to Ring of Honor.
I could see some of the ones who tend to be on Dark or like maybe Rampage matches.
Yeah, people like oh man, I forgot her name. The Blue
Blue Sky.
Yeah, she's like, she's not amazing, but she is decent enough to watch. So to see her maybe develop more.
I think she's one that they signed with the hopes of what she'll become. I think that was their thinking with her. Yeah. There are good women though. They just don't show up on TV very often either.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Well, that I think that's probably a good segue into AEW.
As good as any.
So starting off with Dynamite, were there any matches specific that you wanted to talk about?
Oh goodness. So we were talking a little bit before recording about Dynamite, and it was kind of an underwhelming show, personally. It was a good show. Like, every match was good, and I think every segment was good, but there weren't like these wow moments. There weren't very many wow moments on the show.
Yeah, not like any huge standouts.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I'd say the thing that I thought of the most as the week went on, and like I really reflected on really was not so much the match. It was the Varsity Blondes, Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. Versus Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson. So the match itself was fine. What I loved though was Jon Moxley's promo after the match. So like William Regal was in the commentary booth throughout the match, and then, which by the way, William Regal in the commentary booth is fantastic. I love when he's in there. But they let Jon Moxley cut a promo, and it was kind of nice to like really hear from him, because we've heard from Brian and we heard from Regal, but we hadn't heard too much from Mox. And so there, Mox is basically talking about how great it is to learn and compete against, William Regal and he actually named their group, which is called the Blackpool Combat Club, and they have a shirt of that on AEW.
I saw that.
It was just a really fun, good Moxley promo. I like this. Like, this is probably one of my favorite things in the last few weeks is the Blackpool Combat Club, as we're now going to be calling them.
Yeah.
And they did kind of add on to last week's match. I think it was Brian versus Wheeler Yuta. No, actually, it was a tag match. It was Moxley and Brian Danielson against Yuta and Chuck Taylor. And they kind of added on that by having Wheeler Yuta basically leave the best friends.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got from it. So
because Trent Barreto didn't like him.
Doesn't like him, yeah.
But I like this. Them taking younger guys and beating them up and then making them into better wrestlers. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
What did you like from Dynamite there?
The main match that I enjoyed was Adam Cole versus Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of both these guys, but I'm a fan of Jay Lethal. I just love to see what he does. He's not, crazy fancy, but what he does is very interesting and very enjoyable to watch. So, these two together, they, I have to think, I'm pretty sure that I've seen these guys wrestle before in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, for sure.
At least once, if not more.
I believe Adam Cole is the one who beat Jay Lethal for the championship in Ring of Honor.
I think you're right. But here we are. We've got two former Ring of Honor world champions, both amazing in-ring athletes. And doing what they do, and it was great. And then Red Dragon comes in and kind of gets involved and allows Adam Cole to kind of they distract him, so it allows Adam Cole to deliver his boom and puts him away. After that, the champion Adam Page comes in and starts smacking everybody around with his belt.
Yeah.
That was great. And then of course, he starts getting beat down too, and Adam Cole takes his belt and walks away with the belt. And then
yeah. He like left with the championship, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But overall, I think this was this might be a bold statement, but as far as AEW goes, I think this might have been Lethal's best match.
What was his last match? The one he had at was it a TNT title match?
It was. I just think if you put somebody as good as Jay Lethal in a ring with somebody as amazing as Adam Cole,
yeah,
you're going to bring out the best in each other.
This match probably might be my favorite because there were I love counters. I mean, I know people complain about too many counters in wrestling, but this match was like full of really fun counters.
It really was. Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff there. Yeah, so that was my favorite match. Do you have any others that you wanted to mention?
I'd say the CM Punk versus Dax Harwood match was pretty great way to start the show off.
Yeah, that would be my next one too.
Yeah, it just a really good match. You don't see Dax wrestle solo too much.
No, you don't. And I remember like when it started, I remember thinking, I'd rather just see him with Cash Wheeler.
Yeah.
I don't know about this, but he did some pretty good work. And
It was a lengthy match too. Like I liked how long it went. They're doing this weird thing with the Gun Club and FTR. It seems like FTR are kind of turning babyface,
I'm
which
getting that impression too.
it may tie into this coming week's AEW because MJF cut a promo this week on Wardlow saying, at the end of the promo though, he said the Pinnacle's not over, and if they're going to have a summit this coming week. So I'm wondering if this is where we're going to see FTR maybe branch off from the Pinnacle. I'd be curious.
Maybe.
It seems early to move the Pinnacle, but I guess if you're losing Wardlow and they fired Tully, I don't know. It's a weird. I don't know what they're doing.
It's weird. I'm sure they've got a plan.
Yeah,
and they're going to let us in on the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the tornado tag match was worth watching, but there's not much necessarily to say about it.
It's worth watching primarily for the finish where Jeff Hardy basically he's like, I don't know, he's on a ledge. He uses a ladder, climbs up on a ledge inside the concourse, and then does a swanton onto with the Butcher and the Blade. It looked pretty scary. That one could have gone wrong.
Well, and we're talking Jeff Hardy. Every time you turn around, he's doing something where you're just kind of cringing, like, oh man, that's gotta hurt.
Have you noticed his swantons don't look the same as they used to?
Yep.
He seems like he's landing more flat on, like, with his back on their, like, I don't know, it looks like he's landing way more weight on the middle of their body. It could be, though, I did just think of this, maybe the original way he used to do it, he was probably taking a lot of tailbone damage.
Yeah.
So maybe this version of Swanton almost winds up looking like a splash by the end.
Yeah.
When he lands on him, but that could be him just like favoring that tailbone.
Yeah. I mean, guy's like over 40 years old now. He's got to be
been wrestling since he was a teenager.
He's got to be playing it safe.
Yeah. I mean, like Matt Hardy's always said that he wished a leg drop was not one of his signature moves. So
yeah.
Even Hulk Hogan said that.
So moving on to Rampage, like you didn't watch it, but
no,
I got to be honest, there wasn't really all that exciting. I mean, like the first match, I enjoyed. I like watching Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah,
but this to me was not signature Dustin Rhodes match. He was wrestling Lance Archer, which I like watching him too. But both of them, it just seemed like they were both being violent for being violent's sake. Like it wasn't really a good match. It was decent. It was decent. Like right away, like the match starts right away. Lance tore the turnbuckle pad off. And then later in the match, it basically bites him in the ass. Because he ends up getting hit with it. But these are two, really big guys. Dustin got really bloody toward the end, and I don't know. It just did not seem. I mean, on top of the fact that there was really no story behind it. Like why are they wrestling?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the rest of the matches were just kind of I mean, there was a thing, I want to say it was toward the end. It was before the main event, which was Ricky Starks and Swerve Strickland. But before that, there was a presentation by TT Marshall. It's presenting Hook with a certificate of accomplishment. Hook actually did come out. I was surprised about that. Not so surprised that he basically tore into them.
Yeah.
After he looked very unimpressed by this plaque they were giving him, and he basically knocked him over the head with it. And yeah, it was,
I love Hook. Hook's great.
Yeah, he's great. Didn't get a match from him though. But yeah, the main event was for the FTW championship. Ricky Starks and Swerve Strickland. Not any big surprise that Starks won. But at the end, Keith Lee came out, and I think it's given us the hint of a Lee Strickland versus Starks Hobbs.
That'd be a good match.
So I hope so.
Yeah. And it probably will lead to a Keith Lee versus Ricky Starks for the FTW championship match.
Yeah. I really hope that AEW doesn't drop the ball on him.
No. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of hope kind of riding on him.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was all that we watched. But we've got some stuff coming up this weekend that we want to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So Mania's coming up. You and I, we don't care. We don't watch WWE.
There is WrestleMania. I keep forgetting that. No.
Are you gonna watch any of it?
No.
I'm not interested in anything that's happening this year.
I have no desire to watch WrestleMania.
Like, the only thing I'm a smidge interested in is the Stone Cold and Kevin Owens thing, but at the same time, it's not a wrestling match, so I don't care. It's a talk show.
Now, that being said, WrestleMania is in the Dallas area.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been to a WrestleMania, so if I would have been able to get tickets or even had thought about getting tickets, I probably would have went just to say I've been to a WrestleMania.
Yeah. WrestleMania is WrestleMania. I didn't watch last year's WrestleMania.
I'm almost certain that I did not.
The only thing I watched was the Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens match that was like 9 minutes long.
Yeah. No, really. I mean, that Royal Rumble that we watched, was that last year?
It's this year.
It was this year. Yeah, the Royal Rumble is like the first time I've watched WWE in a few years. So
I don't like their presentation. I don't like the way the show looks. I don't like the booking. I don't like the promos that they're given. Like, it's just I did watch last week on Raw the Kevin Owens where he came out just like Stone Cold in a bald cap. Yeah. That was pretty good. I liked that a lot. But I also just love Kevin Owens, so.
Yeah. But we've got some other stuff coming up that's going to be absolutely way more interesting.
Yeah. Well, honestly, there's one show happening this weekend that I'm actually really excited for. It's probably the second biggest deal outside of, or it's the first, the biggest show outside of Mania is the Ring of Honor Supercard.
Yeah, that's the one where we're both really looking forward to. And I was going to try to go down to that, but we've got too much going on here.
Yeah.
Getting prepared for the move. Like, everything is just, with this upcoming move, everything's just been kind of put on hold.
Yeah, I mean, it was already going to be interesting because it was like the only thing. It was going to be the first thing that Ring of Honor had booked past Final Battle last year.
Yeah.
And so I was already interested. But then when it was announced that Tony Khan purchased Ring of Honor, it got a little more enticing.
Yeah.
And interestingly, Tony Khan has said a little bit about this show. Is he wishes this show wasn't happening when it is, because he doesn't like the idea of going into WWE's territory. Yeah. Like going towards their weekend.
Yeah.
So,
well, on the plus side, this is taking place on Friday.
Yeah.
So it's earlier in the week, and earlier in the weekend. So they're not really going to be competing head to head with WrestleMania. So it's going to be on Friday at the Curtis Culwell Center. which is where just recently I went and saw Winter is Coming.
Yeah.
It's going to be the 15th Supercard.
Yeah, and the way he's talked, he's kind of implied that there won't be another, not another Supercard, but not another Ring of Honor show WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
Also, Rampage is happening on Friday too, so he's basically competing against himself on Friday.
Yeah. I don't see a lot of like really important booking happening on Rampage this week.
And I kind of wondered if that's why AEW was the way it was this week. Is they're like, all right, WWE's building up to Mania. It's a big deal. They're eating up all the oxygen in the room as far as wrestling news, especially with the potential Cody match with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I might, if he does debut at Mania, I will watch his debut just to see like how well they do.
I'll watch it after the fact.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not going to pay for it. But it'll be
well, you know what?
See.
Sorry.
Even if they mess up Cody in the WWE, his debut will probably be fun.
Now, I've got Peacock, so I wonder if I'm getting it free.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
No. I still won't watch it. I'm still not going to watch it, but
nah. But yeah, the Ring of Honor Supercard looks like it's got 6 matches so far. They might add some more by the time we get to it, but
yeah.
Where do you want to start? You want to start on top or start?
Yeah,
on bottom?
Let's start from. Well, now I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, so
okay.
Your start might be different than my start.
I'll go there too then.
Mine starts with. Actually, let me go from the bottom up.
Sounds good.
The first one is at this point, the only women's match that we have announced. And that is Mercedes Martinez versus Willow Nightingale. And it says it's for the interim Ring of Honor World Championship. I'm not sure what that means.
Well, it means that because Deonna Purrazzo has the Ring of Honor Women's Championship and she's an Impact employee, it means they're going to have to like set up a match to get that off of her. That being said, Deonna Purrazzo has a match that same weekend for either the Ring of Honor Women's Championship or her AAA Championship.
And we'll get to that a little later.
Yeah.
I bet I know what that means, and I'll get to that when we talk about that show.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not super familiar with Willow. I saw her. Man, where was it on a GCW show? Maybe.
Yeah, I think she's done some GCW.
Yeah.
I've seen her in MLW, and I think she was on that last Ring of Honor show too.
Yeah,
the Final Battle show.
But yeah, I'm interested in seeing Mercedes.
Any guesses?
Oh, about who's going to win?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's going to be Mercedes.
I do too.
I think Mercedes is and that will tie into what I'm going to talk about on with the next event that we talk about. Yeah. I got some thoughts on that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got the Pure Championship between Josh Woods and Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, I'm curious. So I'm really curious about these matches because we don't know who is going to be staying with Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Is Josh Woods going to stay with Ring of Honor? If he's not, then I see Wheeler Yuta winning this. But also, it seems early to have Wheeler Yuta win a championship since he's so kind of tied in. So my guess is Josh is probably going to keep it.
Yeah, I don't think Wheeler Yuta is gonna. I think he's gonna make a really good showing, but I don't think he's gonna win it.
Regal might show up. I could see Regal showing up.
That'd be cool.
At that,
that would be cool. Let's see. Next match that's in the list is probably one of the. Well, there's like 3 matches on the current card that I'm really looking forward to. This is one of them. I'll say this is the first one. It's Jay Lethal versus Lee Moriarty.
Yeah.
Just a regular singles match, but yeah, I think it's going to be great to see these two go up against each other.
Yeah, Lee Moriarty is really good. He's an up and comer. He made a big name on the indie scene and got signed to AEW. So, and he was one of the names mentioned by Bryan Danielson when he was trying to lure Moxley into forming a club. So,
yeah,
I like Lee Moriarty. I want to say this match happened at Terminus, but I'm also not 100% sure. I know they've both been on Terminus shows.
Yeah.
But I can't recall if this specific matchup happened already. But I'm looking forward to seeing this match. I think even though you say there's like 3 that you're really looking forward to, I think the whole show will be good.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I mean, like the next one, Swerve Strickland versus Alex Zane. I'm sure it'll be a good match. I'm just not terribly interested in it.
I like Swerve, and I think it's probably going to be used to kind of get him over too some more. So
yeah, that's probably a good idea. Because I still think there are a lot of people that watch AEW have no idea who he is.
He got a pretty good reaction at Revolution, though, when he came out to be signed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so these matches are kind of cold, I guess, is what it ultimately are. Like, now we'll say the two matches on the top of the card are not cold matches at all.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got a tag team match for the championship. This may very well be the most anticipated match of the card.
It's the one I'm most excited for,
and I mean most anticipated, like outside of you and me.
Right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree. Because this match has been teased for months now.
Yeah, and we are referring to the Briscoe brothers versus FTR. Man, that's going to be a great match.
Yeah, I can't help but think the match is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
You know, they teased it at Final Battle.
Yeah.
And then they had their online little feud.
Yeah,
which has been really fun.
Yeah.
Apparently, like, Tony Khan has wanted the Briscoes in AEW for a while now, but I think part of what I've heard on other shows is that Turner doesn't really want the Briscoes because
he wanted them so bad he bought the company.
Turner doesn't want the Briscoes because I believe it's Jay Briscoe has had some remarks in the past that are not the most friendly, which he has since apologized for multiple times in the ring, even in front of live crowds. So, you know, it's fine. I think at this point he's learned and grown from, you know, past ignorant statements. But yeah, if this is how we get the match, I'm happy regardless.
Yeah, this is going to be a good match, despite any of that. But what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. Like, does FTR win? You know,
maybe that's part of what they're doing in AEW.
Yeah, it's hard to say
that
because
storyline.
Yeah, they've been weird with them. You know, they fired Tully, and they're kind of baby faces.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the Briscoes just won it in December.
Yeah.
Again, but I mean,
right. That they've defended a few times.
Yeah.
People were mad that it wasn't FTR at that GCW show. It wound up being like Nick Gage. But yeah, they've defended it a few times in some other places, but not high profile. GCW is probably the highest profile thing, but yeah, I don't know. I could see them retaining, maybe setting up a rematch.
Yeah. It can really go either way.
Because I could see a rematch happening very easily. Because they're good wrestlers and they'd be good matches.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I had to guess right now, I say the Briscoes retain.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can probably agree with that one.
I might change my mind Wednesday whenever we see what happens there. But
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then the last match that we have on the list is for the ROH Championship.
it is.
Jonathan Gresham versus Bandito. Both of them hold some sort of ROH title.
Yeah, so the original match was this match was going to happen at Final Battle, but then Bandito I think came down with COVID symptoms. So what they wound up doing
Right.
was Jonathan Gresham won the Ring of Honor World Championship, but it was like the original championship, while Bandito had the more recent Ring of Honor Championship. So they teased a little bit at Terminus. So we knew the match was coming. So it'll be a unification match, I'm sure. And I see Gresham winning this.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Bandito rules. Like I love Bandito, but I think Gresham is the right choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's the right way they need to go.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is a show this weekend that I'm definitely going to watch the whole thing because there's probably going to be surprises on the show too, and maybe some more matches announced this week.
Oh yeah,
I'm really looking forward to it. Even just to see what Tony Khan does different, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
all right. Yeah, what's the next thing that you want to talk about?
Do you want to talk about the Impact show since it kind of dovetails off of?
Yeah, we might as well since we already kind of mentioned it already. So I'm gonna go down the list here. We've got the a tag team match. This is a non-title match as far as we know.
Yeah,
depends, I guess. Wait a minute. Let me find out. When does this actually take place? This also takes place on Friday. Oh, weird. So the Briscoes are fighting 2 times that night. Yeah, because the Briscoes are going to be fighting the Good Brothers. So the Good Brothers just lost the tag team championships recently to Violent by Design. So this is just going to be a regular tag team match.
Yeah, that is the thing about these AEW or not AEW, these WrestleMania weekends is you'll see a lot of the same people working multiple matches a day.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Like I really like I've never been, and this is the thing that makes me want to go the most is to be like, all right, on Friday I've got Ring of Honor and Impact, and then Saturday I've got AAA and MLW, you know, like that kind of stuff. Seeing all these shows together on the same weekend's wild.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we're gonna get. I mean, like this week was very weak in wrestling, but over the weekend we're gonna have to pick what to talk about.
It's a calm before the storm. I think is what happened this week.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I also want to mention, because we didn't even mention it, that so this is Impact Wrestling, and the name of the event, it's not a well, I guess it is a pay-per-view. They're actually listing it as a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
But it's called Multiverse of Matches. Kind of play on that new Doctor Strange movie that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, the next one listed in the list of matches is an intergender Ultimate X match for the X Division Championship, currently held by Trey Miguel. So it's going to be Trey and Chris Bay versus Chris Bay versus Rich Swann versus Willie Mack versus Vincent versus Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting.
There's a lot of people in that match.
There is. That is a lot of people. It could get really chaotic there.
Yeah.
Part of me wants Trey Miguel to retain.
Yeah.
But another part of me actually would like to see Jordan Grace win it.
That'd be exciting, I think. Is she still the digital champion? Or
No, she lost it to Matt Cardona.
Oh, that's right. Cardona won that one. Cardona has like a ton of championships right now.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with Chris Bay winning. That'd be cool too. I like Chris Bay and his Bullet Club, his version of Bullet Club.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but I don't dislike him. What else? Next is Chris Sabin versus Jay White. This is most likely going to be a really good match because these two are both phenomenal in-ring performers.
Yeah, and I'm hoping Jay White wins.
Yeah. So the next match is that's on the list is Deonna Purrazzo versus To Be Announced. Now, before, like when we were talking about Supercard, I didn't realize that these were both on the same day. So
Yeah.
my line of thinking was that Martinez was going to win that one and then wrestle Purrazzo for the Ring of Honor and win it. Or not the Ring of Honor, the AAA and win it.
That you think the AAA one?
Yeah.
Or the Ring? I think they're going to take the Ring of Honor title off of Deonna Purrazzo since she's an Impact employee.
Oh, that would make more sense.
Yeah, I think once the Ring of Honor's up and going, So
I wonder if they're going to bring somebody over from AEW to take it off of her.
It could be our guest signing.
Oh,
I wouldn't be mad at that. If Athena is our mystery signee.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. But whoever the opponent is going to be, that's going to be a good match because Deonna always puts on good matches. Next match after that, we've got there's actually not an Impact World Championship match at this show, but we've got a tag team match between Josh Alexander and Jonah versus Moose and PCO.
Yeah.
It's an odd matchup.
So what is it? Moose has a feud going with, is it Josh Alexander? No. Who does he have a feud with right now?
Yeah, I mean that's his current feud because Josh has a contract for a title match.
Whose house did he just show up at? Moose showed up at.
That was Josh.
Okay. That makes sense then.
Yeah, he delivered the contract.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just not only a weird team up, but a weird pairing of tag team. I don't know. It's just like, I mean, I understand the Moose versus Josh Alexander, but where do these other two get involved?
Where does Jonah and PCO get involved? Yeah.
I don't know. Should be interesting. Another singles match we have is Alex Shelley versus Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah. I like both these guys, so I think it could be a really fun match.
Could be.
They're both pretty, I'd say they're high flyers. Would you call Mike Bailey a high flyer? I would, I think.
Probably.
Yeah. I know he's like a Taekwondo guy, but yeah.
The mixed tag team match, which is next to the list, sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
So keep in mind this is an Impact event, but we've got Nick Aldis showing up. He's pairing up with he was in TNA. I guess that's not so strange because he was Magnus back when he was in TNA. But yeah, Nick Aldis is pairing up with Mickie James for a mixed tag team match against Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green.
Yeah, it's the husband and wives match against each other.
Yeah.
This spins out, I believe, out of that storyline between Mickey James and Chelsea Green on Impact. I don't know that Aldis was involved up to this point, but it makes perfect sense to have, Cardona is the NWA champion. Nick Aldis wrestles in NWA. Mickey's in both these companies, really. Mickey James is mainly in Impact as well as Chelsea Green. So yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense. When they say this multiverse of matches, it's because we have Ring of Honor guys, Impact people, New Japan people, a AAA championship. What else do we have? NWA, a lot of different companies are involved in this show. So it's exciting. I mean, you get that kind of fun stuff though at these.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be fun. Okay, where is the next match? Oh, the last match we have on here is a 4-way tag match for the Knockouts World Tag Team Championship.
Oh, yeah.
So we have The Influence, who is the current Knockouts champions, tag team champions. So that's Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood versus Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans versus Decay, which is Havoc and Rosemary versus... Oh, this pairing makes no sense at all. I think I need to go back and watch last week's Impact. Giselle Shaw and Lady Frost.
The only one of those I'm unfamiliar with is Giselle Shaw. I don't know who she is.
She's newer to Impact, but her and Frost have this like very bitter feud going on right now, or so I thought. Yeah, I apparently need to go back and watch last week's Impact because I'm like, whoa. I looked at that and just stopped me in my tracks. I'm like, why are they in a team together? I'm gonna say that the Influence retain because they just won it.
They just beat the
Inspiration.
Yeah, right. I was gonna call them the Iconics. That's not their name anymore.
Yeah, no, whatever they are. I think it'd be interesting if Decay won, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all that we have on the list for Impact's multiverse of matches. What's next?
What do we put on there? There's the New Japan show and the AAA show.
You wanted to talk about AAA in WrestleCon.
So AAA, invading WrestleCon. One of the big WrestleCon is a massive convention that happens every year at WrestleMania that also has some wrestling shows attached to it, and it's notable for featuring a AAA show as well as a New Japan show on the WrestleCon. The New Japan show, we'll start with the AAA show. It's called AAA Invades WrestleCon. It's 5 p.m., I believe, on Friday. And it's got a good card. It's tag heavy for the most part, but it's still pretty exciting. So I'm going to start from the bottom of the card up.
Okay.
It's a trios match. It's interesting. So it is Taya, I'm assuming the Taya Valkyrie, Nino Hamburguesa, Little Hamburger, and Microman versus Rey Escorpion, Mini Abismo Negro, and La Hiedra. Trios match. Nino Hamburguesa is he's a really big fat guy. But he's beloved. Like, people love this guy. So, and Microman is well loved too. So it'll probably be a fun match. We get some women in there and some minis. That's interesting. The next match is another trios match. Is Octagon Jr., Arami, and Mr. Iguana versus Arez, Abismo Negro Jr., and Fabi Apache. And that match could be really fun. Mr. Guan is kind of a comedy guy, I believe. But Arez and Arami, they've wrestled a lot in MLW, and they're both really good.
So jumping back to the previous one, I just wanted to just pop it in. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Taya wrestle again.
Yeah, I'm excited to see her like showing up in more places.
Yeah,
she basically didn't get a chance to do anything in AEW, or NXT, but
yeah, that was waste. That was a waste of her time.
The next match is for the NWA Tag Team Championship. It is Mecha Wolf and Bestia 666, who are the champions, defending against Aerostar and Drago. I believe Mecha Wolf and Bestia just won that not too long ago in NWA. I don't see them losing that title on this show specifically, but Aerostar and Drago are great. They're mainstays of AAA. They were on Lucha Underground. Like, they were a big part of that show. We have another trios match. It is a no DQ match. It's Pagano, Drago Kid, and Jack Cartwheel versus Sam Adonis, Gringo Loco, and Puma King. I love Puma King. Have you ever seen him?
No, I've heard the name though.
He's really fun. He acts like a cat too, which is very funny, but he's great. I like him a lot. Now the two top of the card matches are the most exciting. So we have a 3-way match for the AAA Cruiserweight Championship. It is Laredo Kid, the champion, versus Bandito versus Flamita. So that match, I think that's going to be a match that just goes like a mile a minute. It's going to be a really fun, fast-paced.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I like to watch Laredo Kid.
Yeah, which also means it's the same night Bandito will be wrestling here as well as the Ring of Honor show.
Wow. I mean, yeah, they got... it's going to be a crazy weekend.
And then the main event is Psycho Clown versus Black Taurus, which is just kind of like, two of the more popular guys in AAA fighting each other. I imagine that match will be pretty hard-hitting as well. But I like some AAA. I'm always excited to see a lot of these names wrestle. So a lot of tags, but I'm going to definitely check out that trios match if I can get a hold of it.
Yeah. I wonder if it's going to be on Fight.
I believe, let's see. Yeah, you should be able to get it on Fight. I think there's like a Fight Fest. It's called the Fight Fest 2022 bundle, which has a lot of these WrestleCon shows kind of bundled together. I think the Impact show is bundled with it too.
Interesting.
You want to talk about the New Japan show?
Oh, was that it? Okay, that was. I thought there was another one you wanted to talk about, but yeah, we can jump into.
There's an MLW Azteca Underground show, I believe, on Saturday, which has a lot. It's got some good matches on it too.
Yeah,
I just wanted to go with the bigger deal of.
Yeah, I mean the New Japan. This is all like New Japan, US.
Yeah, strong.
Yeah, that sort of, but it's called Lonestar Shootout. So there's one match in particular, at least on the card that I'm looking at, that really has me interested. The rest, I'm not saying they're going to be bad matches. I'm sure they're all going to be like really good matches because of the names involved. But there's really only one that I'm super, super excited about. But let me go down the card that we have right now. We've got Chris Dickinson versus Tomohiro Ishii. Yep. I like Ishii, so that would be worth watching. Do you think this is going to be on New Japan World?
It probably will, like in a month. They kind of space these strong shows out.
I guess we'll find out.
They probably chop them up like they were doing with those.
Oh yeah,
Nemesis shows.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be good. We've got another one with Speedball Mike Bailey. He's going to be wrestling Jay White. That should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. I like to watch Jay White wrestle. The one next in the list is actually the one I'm most looking forward to. And that is Ren Narita versus Rocky Romero.
Yeah, Ren Narita was the wrestler who got to fight Shibata
Mhm.
at Wrestle Kingdom. So
And he's pretty good. I like him. He's got a good, fun ground style,
yeah,
on the ground style. But Rocky Romero, man, like just over the last year, uh, I've just really, really been enjoying him and watching him work. I really like to
yeah,
watch him.
he's one of those guys that's been good for a really long time, but like you kind of forget how good he actually is, you know?
Yeah, like I saw him on an AEW show a month or so back, and I was just like, man, he's just so good at what he does. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. The last match that's on the list is okay. I'm trying to read how they put this. Okay, it is a tag match. It is Finn Juice, Kevin Knight, and Daniel Garcia. Man, this is going to be a lot of people. Versus Carl Fredericks, Clark Connors, Yuya Imura.
Yeah.
I probably butchered that.
Nope.
And Mascara Dorada.
Yeah, Mascara Dorada. He is the former WWE wrestler. What were the Grand Metalik? They were calling him that in WWE.
Oh.
He wrestled in Mexico and Japan as Mascara Dorada, though. He has connections with New Japan already, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I forgot about Grand Metalik. Now he was in oh man, wasn't he in 205 Live?
Yeah, he was in he did the Cruiserweight Classic. He was the finals. It was him and TJP in the finals. Yeah, and then
That's right.
He was part of Lucha House Party with
Yeah.
Samurai del Sol.
That's right, because he defeated Zack Sabre Jr. to get to the finals.
And people were pissed. And TJP beat Kota Ibushi. And people were mad.
Yeah.
What do you expect? Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. didn't sign contracts with the WWE, and the other two did. So of course they're going to use them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not the only matches. There are 3 more I see on the voicesofwrestling.com website.
Okay.
They have Killer Cross versus Minoru Suzuki.
Why is this not showing up? See, because I'm on the. Oh, I thought I was on the New Japan page. I'm not.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
I'm not a big Killer Cross fan, but I am interested to see what Suzuki can do with him in a match. I think there's a chance it'll be just really. I mean, Suzuki has a ton of matches across WrestleMania weekend. Like he has a lot of really cool matches, but yeah, I'm very curious to see how he wrestles someone like Killer Cross.
Yeah. Now, if I'm thinking of the same person, he's the one that just maybe last year got released by WWE.
Yeah, he used to wrestle in Impact as Killer Cross. He's grown his hair out, which is interesting. He's wearing suits a lot, I think, but
I think I remember him from.
He's the one they put in the gladiator outfit in the WWE.
Yeah, he when he was in when he was in Impact, he wasn't he a tag team with Austin Aries.
Was he? Oof. I don't like that pairing.
That is a weird pairing. Okay, so what do you have after that?
There's another tag match is Alex Coughlin, Fred Rosser, and DKC versus Tom Lawler, JR Kratos, and Royce Isaacs. Just a little 6-man. And then we have Jonah versus Blake Christian. So
yeah, that previous one I got Fred Rosser in there, man.
Yeah.
Make Darren Young look great again. Hashtag. Make it a thing.
So we won't go. I don't want to go down like all these cards for all these other shows, but I do want to like point out just some random cool matchups that are happening across the weekend that I think will be notable. So at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, it is John Moxley versus Biff Busick. And Biff Busick is the former Oni Lorcan from NXT. And Biff rules.
Oh, wow.
Biff is so good. That's the main event of that show.
What's the name of this show again?
That's Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, which Bloodsport is a weird hybrid of MMA and wrestling. Like it's like a worked shoot style. I don't think there are ring ropes in these Bloodsport matches.
Oh.
Josh Barnett's a big UFC guy. And like GCW puts those shows on. But so like all of these matches are going to be, no ropes. So I'm curious what it'll be like. I've never watched a Bloodsport match myself. But Minoru Suzuki's on there as well. He's wrestling Chris Dickinson. Jonah's there. Royce Isaac's there. Yuya Uemura's there. Mike Bailey's there. Timothy Thatcher's there. It's cool. I don't know. I don't know that I'll watch it. I don't know. I just have to hear. I need to hear if it's going to be a really good match.
Yeah.
Looking at MLW has a show called Intimidation Games on Friday, and it looks like a regular kind of MLW fusion taping. But the Von Erichs will be wrestling the 5150, which that could be a really fun match. And Von Erichs, they're being in Texas. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are so many shows going on. Moxley's pulling double duty that night as well. He will be wrestling at Joey Janela's Spring Break Part 1 against AJ Gray. And Moxley is the GCW World Championships. That's for that title.
Oh, wow. Speaking of Joey Janela, did you saw the news that he did not re-sign with AEW?
Or it was he didn't think he was going to re-sign. Like, I don't think his contract is 100% up yet, but I think he's just not going to re-sign. Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Yeah.
He's not really been used much outside of Dark.
Yeah.
Biff Busick and Minoru Suzuki will face off at the Mark Hitchcock Memorial Super Show. So that'll be really fun. That show's got, wow. It seems like Mike Bailey is going to have like 4 matches that night alone because he's wrestling Bandito. Mia Yim is wrestling Athena on that show too. And then, GCW has shows all weekend long. Some more exciting than others, of course. Effie will be wrestling Mike Bailey on Zicky Dice's Trouble in Paradise. There's the Azteca Underground show, which features people such as L.A. Park, Arami, Octagon Jr., Matt Cross, Bandito will be there as well. It seems like Bandito is like on every show.
Yeah.
It is just like a bonkers collection of like names and matches all happening within hours of each other, Mm-hmm. Let's see. There's the Impact show. There's another Joey. The next night, Saturday night, Minoru Suzuki will wrestle Effie. Biff Busick will wrestle Tony Deppen. Mike Bailey will wrestle PCO. There's the NXT show, but who cares about that?
Is it a takeover or are they calling it something else?
They don't call them takeover anymore. This one's called Stand and Deliver. And the NXT champion, Dolph Ziggler, will be defending his title against Braun Breaker. So there's that. There is...
So, like, have you seen the list of matches that are scheduled for WrestleMania?
Not recently, but I have seen, I don't know what the most up-to-date list is currently, but
yeah, I mean, you've got the You've got a match between Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey on the first night for the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Lynch is fighting Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah.
And then the Usos are up against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs for the SmackDown. So it looks like night one looks almost all SmackDown, but they have the Raw Women's Championship too. But then, so the final match that's on the list is Brock versus Roman to unify the two championships.
Yeah.
It's like, haven't they done this before? Haven't they unified this before? They need to make up their mind if they want to have one belt or two belts. If I'm remembering right, the last time they unified it was John Cena versus Randy Orton.
When was that? That's been a long time.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
They've not unified the Universal with anything. It's been on its own. They unified the World Heavyweight.
They're unifying the Universal with the WWE Championship.
For now, but then in 6 weeks they just bring back either another championship or split the Universal title off. Yeah, it won't last. Unfortunately, they need only one world champion. They don't need two world champions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, WrestleMania is going to be a mess.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see if Cody shows up. People are saying it's going to be Shane McMahon, which would be hilarious if that's the case. It'd be so dumb if it does happen, but there is one last show I just found that I would like to talk about briefly.
Oh, okay, good.
So Mission Pro Wrestling has a show called Bangers Only, and it will be, I believe that is on Saturday as well. It may be Sunday. I'm not entirely sure. But this is Thunder Rosa's wrestling promotion that she owns in Texas. And the whole show, I believe, is all women wrestlers. So we have Allie Katch, the Hex. I think they're from are they from Impact or NWA? It's Marty Bell and Sienna.
What are they called again? I don't think that's Impact.
I think it's NWA. The Hex. Masha Slamovich will wrestle Lindsay Snow.
See, now I like Marsha.
Yeah.
Slamovich. Of course, I like Thunder Rosa.
Janai Kai will wrestle Tasha Steeles. Holodead will wrestle Lou Fisto. And the main event will be Thunder Rosa versus Trish Adora, which that match will probably be very, very good. I like Trish Adora a lot.
Yeah.
So that one would be worth watching. It's part of the Collective, which I think that's all the GCW shows. So there's going to be way too much wrestling this coming week.
Yeah, there really is. I don't think we're going to end up. I mean, I can guarantee you, I'm not going to be able to watch all of it.
Right? Yeah. Like I'm not. Yeah, going to be able to see all of these matches either. I am going to make a concentrated effort to watch the Ring of Honor show.
Yeah,
and then maybe something else. We'll see if I can find it.
I'll probably end up watching Impact.
Yeah, it's weird. So the Ring of Honor show starts at 7, and the Impact show starts at 9. So is the Ring of Honor show going to be over in time for the Impact show, or is it going to be an overlap?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I probably won't watch any of them live, to be honest.
True. Yeah. Very true. But I don't know. It's exciting. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's always cool to see who kind of makes a name for themselves over WrestleMania weekend. And I'm looking forward to watching some of these matches. Even if I don't watch them all this week, I'll try and hunt them down over the following weeks. Definitely want to see a lot of the Biff Busick and Suzuki matches.
Yeah. Well, cool. So coming up Monday, we'll talk about something. We'll have plenty,
plenty.
To talk about if we're able to watch enough of it by then.
We should be able to.
But yeah, so we'll have some stuff to talk about, and hopefully we'll have some more interesting AEW shows to talk about as well.
Yeah.
We'll get. I mean, at the very least, we'll get the debut of the new woman division entrant.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that is it for this week. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and be sure to catch us next week where we talk more wrestling.
Have a good night.